Operation Maelstrom.
Welcome to Town Talk with Ted on News Talk 1230 WFVA. Over the next hour, you'll be introduced to business and local leaders who impact our community. Now, the recipient of 3 first-place Virginia Association of Broadcasters Awards and the host of Town Talk, Ted Schubel.
The Institute for Performing Arts. We have talked about it before. They are having a big gala coming up and a lot of big things being planned. That's our focus this morning. The Institute for Performing Arts, something that you and your family and your kids are going to be fascinated by as we talk about this this morning. Bill Carroll here. Kevin Handy is here with us, and welcome both of you.
Good morning.
Thanks.
That voice, Bill, I've heard it before. Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, on the other side of the building, I guess.
I'm looking here. Yeah, we do have. We will hear you in the next commercial break.
Actually, probably will. Yeah.
So, but anyway, welcome. This is an exciting thing. Real quick, because we're going to get into a lot of the details. But
Yes.
the Institute for Performing Arts, you've got some big plans.
Big plans. I mean, huge plans. And that's why I brought Kevin with me this morning, our director of cinematography, because a lot of things that we're doing is wrapped around the film industry. And the way technology is going right now, film is where it's at. And audiovisual, and speaking of the commercial break coming up, we're going to be teaching people in broadcasting and voiceover work and production. So that's just a small little taste of what you're going to get for this new institute that we're going to have right here in the Fredericksburg region.
You have a gala coming up next Saturday, June 6th.
June 6th,
Stafford Airport.
Yep, 7 o'clock, Stafford Airport Terminal. Tickets are on sale now at contributetothearts.org. So that's where anybody can go and get information about the gala and the tickets, and a few surprises involved. And actually, we're going to have a cool video presentation that, Kevin, you put together. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, yeah, actually, a week ago, we filmed it along with several other projects we were working on.
Yeah.
We just got everybody together. We have a new member of the team that we're bringing in, technically, at the gala event. So we shot a mockumentary to go along with it. Just had a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor for what the reveal is going to be. And yeah, it was fantastic. So much fun. And God, if you've never been to the Stafford Airport Terminal, it just go there just to see it. It's beautiful inside.
Is.
Oh, brand new. Yeah. I mean, what is it, less than a year old? I guess it was January.
Yeah.
And they were very generous about offering the facility to us. I know the Rotary uses it and a lot of other county officials, even in Stafford and Fredericksburg. So we got a chance to grab a date because they're filling up fast there for the gala, and it's going to be amazing. Again, it's 3 hours. Fantastic food from Caroline Street Catering, Shane. We have Shannon Peterson, who's going to do some music for us. He's a local artist also who has been represented by all kinds of companies as well now. Cabot Cheese has donated, I don't know, what was it, 9 pounds of cheese? Or it was like a god amount of cheese for us, which was great.
How big does 9 pounds of cheese look?
It just came in this huge box that weighed like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an amazing amount of, it was 5 different gourmet giant blocks of cheese. So they donated that. Again, Shane at Caroline Street Catering hooked us up. Hop and Wine is going to have all kinds of wines from around the world. So it's going to be a great evening. It's formal, tie and black tie. Not black tie. Of course, I might wear a tuxedo. Play the part, of course.
Because you're the CEO here, and you need to play the part. You're going to introduce people to what you do and what you want to do.
And we're going to talk about actually our stage show. There's 3 stages to the actual institute. The first one is we're creating this 4D educational stage show. It's about an hour long, and basically we'll be immersing the audience, the guests of the show, in this 4D environment, which is going to be absolutely amazing, and almost 360-degree video projection. That's where Kevin comes in.
Yeah.
And the sound effects, and reason what 4D is, it touches all your senses. So you're sitting in this somewhat arena that we have built that we just kind of walk in, and the pre-show itself is like you're in a jungle, and you'll be able to smell the jungle, feel the rumble of, say, a volcano erupting. You'll be able to feel the heat from the blasts. It's amazing. That's what pretty much the 4D is. It touches all of your senses, and we're just going to hit them all. It's like taking Broadway, theatrical Broadway, and Disney, and all that imagination, and just throwing it together and smashing it, and then putting it on steroids. So it's that's pretty much the way I can explain it to everybody. It's pretty intense, actually.
To actually pull it off, Kevin, and to do it, how How difficult is it?
Well, it requires a ton of upgrades beyond the cameras that you see. People at home will see later when we post these videos. We're going to take several cameras in a rig that we're going to put up in the back of, say, a truck, drive to the middle of the locations that we need to film at, and live film everything that you see. That way we can get as much realism as possible in this. I want to try to stay away from special effects and stick with as many practical effects as possible. The show's going to have enough special effects in it, but I really want it to be real and feel real.
Is this like what you'd see like with IMAX?
Yeah,
or more?
It's similar to that, but it's more because IMAX, if you're sitting down on a curved screen, obviously you're looking up at almost everywhere. Here, it's all around you.
Yeah.
We might even have video above you, as well. But it's the special effects and enhance the video. They work together. So if you're, looking at in Scotland at a Viking ship, all of a sudden you're going to be sitting in your seat and your whole body's going to start going like this because your mind's going to take you you're going to smell the sea salt. You'll be able to move with the actual water because it'll actually look like it's all around you. And you'll be able to feel spray of the sea also. So again, it touches all your senses. That's what's kind of neat about the whole project.
For people that can remember or take their kids to, you've done the last few years at Christmas time a light show, and that's kind of what you're doing here, but what you're doing now is much bigger.
Much bigger and more intense. I would say the laser light show that was done at the town center I do each year is more like 3D because you'll be able to actually reach up and touch the laser beams, and it's safe, but it's kind of cool because it surrounds you and submerses you into the kind of a laser light show with a train theme that we had this year, which was kind of fun. So yeah, those kind of special effects and technology is going to be used obviously for the stage show, which the Institute is sponsoring and putting on. And that is actually the first stage. And then once the actual show is created and ready to go on the road, that's going to generate the income for the building of the actual Institute that'll be here in the Fredericksburg region.
And we're going to hear about that. And that's I wanted to make note of that what you're doing here on the 6th, on next Saturday night at Stafford Airport, will give people just a glimpse of your vision and the kind of things, because these kind of things, it's cool to sit there and to deal with all of this, but
to experience it.
You want to teach people how to do this.
Yes, because the stage show will actually be run by the students and created by, written by, and the stories that would take you to different places around the world. We go to 4 places in that 1 hour, and basically you're taken through a time capsule. And we have really one character, Professor Theopolis, who we're going to be casting for very shortly, and another large character, very big. Everybody knows who he is, and he will be making his debut and meeting everybody at the gala. So it's very, very exciting. And we'll be taking everybody in an insight of what the show is going to be about, video presentation, and then obviously the special guest. You can take pictures with them and that sort of thing too. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Okay. When this goes on the road, where do you anticipate it going?
It's going to be in not only venues, but children's museums and actual schools in every state. All 50 states, including Hawaii, Alaska. We're going to take it to every single one and go around the country each year. And every year the story changes, except we always go back to a certain period. And that's all I'm going to say. It's because I don't want to give any surprises away.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool.
One of the things, Bill, your passion through this whole thing is just to teach kids, get it into schools, and expose kids to this. Yeah,
it's pretty much taking the arts and giving it back to the schools. I know a lot of times that over the years, what do? The first thing that the counties that the school systems are in terms of money, unfortunately, what do? They take away the theater programs.
Yep, they're cut.
They really cut. So we're actually going to be giving back to all the schools from middle and high schools to start. And we'll be taking Kevin's stuff and filming and all that and cinematography and give that back to the schools absolutely for free. So we're going to be taking the technology from all these vendors and these companies like Christie Digital, which is a high-end projector company who's going to be offering not only their expertise, but their products. And once one goes out, say they come out with a new product, we'll take that other product and give it to the schools. and teach the students how to use it in their schools, and we maintain it and that sort of thing. So we're actually going to be building up the theater programs in all the schools again.
Which is great because, like you said, the first thing to get cut is not just theater programs, but the music programs such as choral and band.
Absolutely.
And we've got these great educators out there in the region who are succeeding in spite of that. If we can enable them with better equipment, better technology, better training on such technology, the education program as a whole is going to grow based on what we're doing.
Kevin Handy and Bill Carroll with us this morning, the Institute for Performing Arts and Dino Time Productions. ContributeToTheArts.org. We'll get you all the information on the big gala coming up on June 6th, next Saturday night at Stafford Regional Airport. ContributeToTheArts.org. More coming up on Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA.
Welcome back to Town Talk with Ted on News Talk 1230 WFVA. You can weigh in on today's Town Talk topic on Facebook. Just search News Talk 1230 WFVA. Now, your host, Ted Schubel.
It's the Institute for Performing Arts and Dino Time Productions. Bill Carroll and Kevin Handy here this morning talking about it, and especially the gala that takes place June the 6th at Stafford Regional Airport. The website to find out all about that, ContributeToTheArts.org. We'll give you all the information on that particular night. How, Bill, did you and Kevin hook up, get together, and start doing this? You both have a passion for this.
Yeah. I was actually working in the audiovisual department of the United Nations quite a few years ago, 13, 14 years ago, and one of the jobs I was taking on brought me down here. So I finished up the job, and I was like, all right, now what am I going to do? So I actually decided to stay in the Fredericksburg area. I got a job as a part-time bartender downtown Fredericksburg, which was great. It took me through college, so why not do it again? I still had the skills. And a little bit of theater, but I met up with Kevin here and found out that he had the same passion for the arts as I do. And he was all into filming and music, and he's a singer himself, and it was pretty amazing. And then time went on, and he has his own little production company, Maelstrom Productions. Yeah. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, Operation Maelstrom.
Operation, that's right.
Yeah, that's fine. Little did I know that just buying one drink from what I knew was a bartender only would turn into all of this.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was on the air, or soon to be on the air with 1015. I didn't know any of this stuff. But no, we started shortly after he and I met. We started our own business, just DJing, doing karaoke product out in the area, and it kind of it molded and morphed into doing video ads for that. And as we shuttered that product, people still wanted to see the videos. So we said, sure, if you want to see them, we'll still produce them. We had a lot of fun. And so for about 2-3 years now, we've been doing video work and just trying to keep stepping it up as we go. And when Bill and I worked a wedding together, November?
Yeah.
He asked me if I knew After Effects. I said, oh, my, yes, absolutely. And that was finally my actual door into the IPA.
Yeah, After Effects is a really cool program to use to make pretty much animation, to make it simple that way. But I looked at him, and then I kind of stole him because he has his own company. So I was like, I got to get this guy, for what I'm doing. And pretty much I grabbed up his whole team. I stole his whole team from him. So
little did he know.
Yeah, little did I know that he had an incredible team with him, too, of sound designers and that sort of thing, which is my background as well. So we just took all these guys with this incredible talent in production of video and audio, and I pretty much handpicked the whole team that we have. We have a really great team. People are putting not only this gala together and everything about it, but the Institute itself. We have a core list of about 20 people now that could be educators as well. So slowly we're bringing in more and more people to build up to be the teaching class of the first core group of the Institute's educators, which is kind of neat. And they're all come from all walks of life. Too.
There are a lot of moving parts to this.
Oh, man.
Because you're talking about traveling, you're putting on shows, but behind the scenes, you're putting this institute together, and you want to house it somewhere in this area and teach people, and there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, I mean, once we get to the stage 3, actually building the facility itself, which will have a 2,000 to 4,000 seat venue in it, an additional 2 500-seat venues. So it'll be like 3 major ones. We're going to have an actual restaurant attached to it called Roadhouse Live, and it's going to be like a House of Blues style. It's going to have its own venue inside there.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, and that's pretty amazing in itself. And then, obviously, classrooms, production facilities, green rooms. It's going to be pretty amazing. Its own food court. It's going to be a pretty large building.
I know how economic development things go, so I'm not asking you to name localities or anything, but are you talking to people in this area?
I've talked to 2 of the areas out of the 3 that's immediate in the Fredericksburg region, and we're going to be talking to the 3rd one soon. And some are interested, and some are more interested. So I'd be interested to see who
I think they should be very interested.
Yeah, one of them is extremely, and they really want us to do some things in their locality without naming names. And
right, we can't. I know we can't get into that, and I would love to name names and talk about
absolutely,
it.
Sure, a little political here, but
we talk about bringing baseball or racetracks or some of these other things, and this is this is a huge thing.
A lot of jobs. We're going to be bringing a lot of jobs in the area. We're going to take this footprint and then take it to other major cities. The next one will actually be Chicago, Austin, Texas, Florida. So this kind of model that I'm creating for here, which will be the staple and home base for this, is going to be actually everywhere else. And then we'll be able to teach via the internet and video that way. So again, that's where Kevin comes in with all his video production. It's going to be virtual classrooms, and then we'll be able to do it completely globally all over the world. Which is nice, and we can have kids, sitting in Nepal or anywhere in Madagascar and basically teaching, and we'll have interpreters and that sort of thing. It's going to be pretty intense once it's finished.
Well, and some of the things, Kevin, you're able to do now, I'm just thinking even 5 years ago you couldn't have done, and all of a sudden you can do more. And if a year from now we have the same conversation, you're probably talking, and I'm asking you about some of the things that you talked about today. You're like, oh, that was last year.
He had his little VHS camera on his shoulder,
Yeah.
A little beta cam is what he had.
Well, it's true. I mean, you've got the advent of online video and channels like YouTube and Vimeo becoming massive media outlets.
Oh, yeah.
There's web series. One actually that got us into filming was called Marble Hornets. It was just 2 friends with a tape camera that had an idea for a short horror film that turned into 7 episodes and then turned into a total of 153 over 3 years. You see what they're doing, and they had little to nothing to start with, kind of like where we were, and it just gave us an idea. Like, well, we have all these script ideas and things that would be great to shoot and fun to do. Why are we not doing it? The technology's there, the audience is there. Let's jump in, and I've never looked back. Even today, right now, as of 8 o'clock this morning, our brand new short film called Raw Exposure went online. It's in a worldwide short film contest called the My Road Reel. And actually, if you want to help support us or the Institute,
how do we do that?
You can go over to OperationMaelstrom.com. That's MAELSTROM, like Into the Maelstrom from Edgar Allan Poe. And you can find links there. You can check us on our Facebook, or go to Contribute to the Arts and go to our Facebook page over there, because we'll be sharing it out as soon as we're off the air. But it's a worldwide contest. There's a lot of film equipment on the line, and everything that we do. I mean, we are, whether or not we're technically a separate entity, we are the film division ultimately of the IPA. So anything that we can get out of this will ultimately benefit the arts, and it's an easy way of doing it.
Oh, absolutely. And he can pull in all kinds of interns and students and teach them what he's doing. And we just, doing so many really cool things on a large scale, like him with the 540 Roller Girls.
Oh, yes, 540. I got to love them. Actually,
they're amazing, amazing.
Rosie D. Ribhitter, her real name's Jennifer Watson. She was on the air with you from talking about Stafford Junction earlier this year.
Yeah.
She says hi, by the way. She also said not to say that on the air, so sorry, Rosie. But she was starring in this short film as well, 540.
Really?
Yeah, she looks
wonderful
fantastic.
to give us time in their practice to film live. But they're actually one of the 3 other charities that I work for. It's not just them, but Southern Maryland Roller Derby and the Gary Bertier No. 42 Foundation.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of populating my entire life, every moment I'm awake, with a charity of some sort, which is awesome.
Yeah, and the thing he's involved with that international thing that you're doing right now, this contest, is amazing. So it's that caliber of product that Kevin can create. So when I grabbed him up and his crew for the Performing Arts Center and everything that we're doing with Travel Through Time, the stage show, it's going to be, stellar. Absolutely epic, the way things are going to be turning out.
And, Bill, what you'll be able to do is give kids so much more education on using some of this equipment. A lot of kids today are using GoPro and using things doing things now, but
with their phones,
Yeah, right. But you put them in the institute, you teach them a few things, they become marketable at a higher level than kids from other parts of the country.
Absolutely. And we're going to have programs, scholarship programs, everything that people can apply for, not only in high school but middle school. So we're actually going to take it even further back, and as far as having free camps to elementary school students on the weekends. So we're actually going to be creating programs for the elementary school kids to get into puppetry and that sort of thing, and even writing their own little stories. And then we're going to take their stories. We'll have a contest of the schools, and the one that we pick as the winner will actually create a stage show out of what they're writing. Then we'll get the film guys involved with Kevin, and that will create that for him and actually create a traveling show just from that child's story. So we're going to be doing a lot of things like that and awarding different schools. And then we'll take our large stage show and then give them a free show at their school. So, it's so many levels to what we're going to be doing in programs. But contributetothearts.org is a great place to find out information on all of that, as well as the gala coming up on the 6th. You got to go to the gala. That's going to be the most amazing insight to what we're doing. And awareness of what's upcoming, what's to come to this area. It's going to be, epic.
Right, and I was going to say that the hard thing is to try to describe it here in
really
words.
Yeah.
You go to the gala, you're going to see things up close and feel things.
Oh boy!
And
wait till you meet. I'm telling you,
see the passion.
Yeah, and our newest addition to the family of the Institute is going to be pretty crazy, and very famous person, very famous.
Well, you're not giving any other clues, are you? You're not. I was hoping to maybe pry a little bit out of you, and you two are just like buttoned up.
Well, what I can tell you is I did speak to the representatives of, I got to remember his name. We all know him. He's an actor. He's going to be the voice of a lot of the IPA commercials, the Institute of Performing Arts commercials. I keep forgetting his name.
Which one?
I know. I'll think about it as we talk about it. But it'll come to me. But it's going to be very, real prestige people. I got it's so much going through my mind right now with the different things we'll be offering everybody. Not only as a paid institute where people can go to, get their degrees as well. So I'm going for a certification and things like that right now. Yes, thank you. Morgan Freeman. Kevin was like, that's right. That's the guy you told me about. It's Morgan Freeman.
You talked to him.
I talked to his representatives.
Yeah.
So once we're ready to pull the trigger on creating the actual television and radio commercials, he is going to be the voice that I'm going to have for this.
Which means I get to film him, which is just amazing.
Wow.
Talk about a dream.
Wow. Let me hang around with you for a day. And
it's going to be very cool. Like I said, people will be able to really see their favorite artists, meet their performers, that sort of thing, and we're going to bring it right to them.
We're going to continue this talk because I think the one of the things let's focus a little bit more in on just the fact that the people that are going to be doing the teaching and involved in this are people who know things just because you have connections. So we'll do that when we come back. Bill Carroll here, Kevin Handy here, the Institute for Performing Arts, contributetothearts.org. We'll get you all kinds of information about the gala coming up June 6th at Stafford Airport. More on Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA. It's now 8:32.
I had the radio on. I'm listening to
Talk done right. News Talk 1230 WFVA Fredericksburg, a Centennial Broadcasting station. You're listening to Town Talk with Ted on News Talk 1230 WFVA. Got an opinion about today's show? Voice it now on Facebook. Search News Talk 1230 WFVA and place your comments now. Here's the host of Town Talk, Ted Schubel.
Bill Carroll is here. Kevin Handy is here. The Institute for Performing Arts, Dino Time Productions. We haven't talked much about Dino Time Productions, but you like dinosaurs. Kids like dinosaurs.
Kids love dinosaurs. And I created Dino Time Productions about 2 years ago in the midst of creating the concept, of course, of the Institute. It's been going on for about 5 years. And I started doing some really neat educational shows and programs. Like I did the real big one last year in Norfolk for the Battleship Wisconsin.
That's right.
Remember that? I did the neat laser spy maze on board the actual battleship. They gave me 3 bulkheads to go in there, and it was awesome just to be a part of that. And the Navy was like, sure, we're going to hire you and put you in there. And it was ran for 3 months. And they actually bought all the laser equipment from me, but I actually developed it for them. And that was one of the larger projects that we've done. And, of course, the laser shows at the mall, and to teach kids about production and lighting and what lasers do and what's safe and not safe about them. And it was just really cool, really neat to do that for all the kids. So Dino Time Productions is actually going to go into a little bit different turn now, where everything that we build and create is now going to be completely educational for anybody. But we're going to have some friendly dinosaurs probably come along sometime soon. That's about what I want to tell you. That's about all I can tell you.
Friendly dinosaurs, as opposed to the dinosaurs that we see in Jurassic Park movies that aren't so friendly.
That's true. And we actually had some consultants from the Jurassic Park movie production companies consult with us on the things that we'll be creating. Again, that's about all I can say, because it's been some pretty big stuff is coming very, very shortly.
It's going to be fun to have you in sometime when we don't have to be so
secretive, I guess.
Because there are things that you're still working on and things that just can't be announced just yet.
But if you go to the gala,
you're going to find a lot more.
You're going to find out a lot more, if not almost everything that we're working on right now, because that's why the gala is so important. It's, again, next Saturday, June 6th, at the Stafford Regional Airport. To get tickets, information, contributothearts.org. That's the site to go to. And you'll get all the information about it, but you will not find out what's happening unless you go. I mean, and it's cool. Again, you're going to meet some pretty famous people there.
Mm-hmm. And the key thing here is, and you've talked about it, but you just can't emphasize it enough. This isn't just you and Kevin playing with a lot of cool toys and doing a lot of cool sound effects. You are doing that. But this is all educational. This is you're a .org, and you're into education, and what you do in this area and what you're going to do around the country is teaching kids.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been dealing with that, a lot of the charity things that I do now, and I've been dealt with not just here in Fredericksburg, but on a more of an East Coast level. And then, of course, met up with Kevin over here and all the stuff that he does with his nonprofit organizations, which I think is amazing. And then when I saw some of the work he did with the 5-Photo Roller Girls and Operation Maelstrom, his production company, I was floored on what he was capable of. So now we're going to take that and put it together with what we're going to be creating. And he came up with some unbelievable ideas. Dude, you're a genius. I mean,
well, the wraparound screens, I don't know if we'll call it genius or giving myself a bigger workload.
So what are the wraparound screens?
Well, originally the idea was to do a curved screen similar to an IMAX, and we're still going to do that on the stage itself. But I came up with the idea in one of our pitch meetings, probably back in October, December, about, well, why don't we do all 4 walls, or at least the 2 side ones? If we're effectively building our own stage and sound area, let's completely control it. Which everybody loved the idea, and I immediately realized that I gave myself a gargantuan task. But,
totally
production-wise, yeah. I mean, it's really submersing the crowd in video, and that's what it is. It's the front screen, which is going to be about 60 feet wide, maybe 30 feet high. Then again, we're going to just wrap the entire audience of 2,000, 2,500 people in video projection.
Yeah,
and that's what's really cool about it. But he just added to his workload to go along with all the special effects that we're going to have. There's a really neat sensory company in Texas that I met with that creates all the scents. So they actually have chemists. I have chemists ready to go to any smell that I want to create, from the disgusting ones all the way up to the real nice flowery ones. Yeah, like swamps, because we're going to have a swamp and jungle if we bring out, the Jurassic characters and that sort of thing. So it's going to be pretty wild. Again, sea salt, if you're watching Viking ships, or take a trip to China, go walk along the wall. I mean, it's pretty wild. So the video on Kevin's side is really important, and is a key to making this come reality for everybody who's in it, who sees it. And
I can see, Bill, down the line, just with this area, did you think of the Civil War options you've got?
Well, that's interesting you said that, because Kevin came up with an idea recently where we would actually go to Williamsburg, where they have the reenactments and the actual villages.
Yeah.
And we would take all the equipment and partner up with them and actually film them, Kevin, talk about it, because I'm so excited about it anyways, because you came up with this great idea.
Yes, Williamsburg, if you are listening, I'm coming for you. So the idea was to go to Gloucester Street. See if I pronunciation.
Gloucester?
The main street, the main drag, where
Yeah.
they actually have all the living history, and just plop our cameras right in the middle and tell them to go. Just let Williamsburg be Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Not ever looking into the camera, but they can look past each other, talk across the street like they would normally do, to really, again, practical effects, truly immerse, and also bring awareness as we travel around the country to the amazing stuff that they're doing down there. And it's not just them. There's a couple other ideas that we had as far as some other locations. Potentially, he mentioned a Viking ship. We've also talked about pirates, and there's a lot of other production companies that are out there that we'd like to work with, and not only help our product, but help bring awareness to theirs, and just bring business around to everybody, and awareness of what all of us are doing educationally.
Yeah, it's history. It's all about teaching history and bring it back to life. So that concept of Williamsburg is neat, because you'll be in the audience sitting there, look to your left, look to your right, you're like in the street with them. So that's how real we're going to make it. And the sound effects, obviously, if they, have a reenactment of shooting their muskets and that sort of thing, and their guns, I mean, it's going to be pretty wild. And the swords and, the clanging. I mean, the sound effects is also key. And hearing. All
of it goes back to just the it's not just a motto or a mantra. It's truly how we think and operate. It's kind of our modus operandi for Dino Time Productions, is educating through imagination. The more we make it seem like it's fun, the less they realize that they're learning the whole time.
Yeah. No, and I was going to say, I can't even say this isn't even cutting edge. You're like 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of what cutting edge is right now, and that's just the little bit of time spending with you guys this morning. I mean, you're way ahead of what people are thinking of.
It's pretty much what Disney does. The concept of what Disney is their Imagineers are the most amazing people on earth, and I got a chance to go down there back in November and meet with them and actually talk with them, and I got a behind-the-scenes look on how they do and create their stories. And I actually have a woman, Linda Guerrera, who's from Connecticut. I've known her for quite a few years. She has a son who's autistic, so it gave me the idea of writing the stories around people with either autism or disabilities. So that's another thing about the stage shows that we'll be creating and Travel Through Time. It's actually written for people with disabilities. So the 4D comes in hand. They'll still be able to understand. If you're deaf, you can still smell, feel, and see. If you're blind, you can still hear, feel, and smell. So there's a lot that you'll still be able to interpret the story the correct way. And people with autism, with their sensory changes a lot, and their heightened or different things they have with their sensories, that's again where the 4D comes into play for people with autism. We'd actually have a different story or a show specifically for people with autism. They'll be able to understand everything, but interpret their own way, and it won't hurt them as they're. If you know, some people with autism have different sensory perceptions that are heightened, and it might hurt them. Something might be too loud or too bright and that sort of thing. Yeah. We can actually tone down a lot of things or increase for them and how they are. And we'll actually be teaching. I want to team up with Paragon. I talked to Paragon Autism Services and places like that. We're going to be partnering up with actually all of them, and actually give free classes and help a lot of their autistic students and that sort of thing, and have them be a part of this as well. So it's not just educational; it's definitely for people with disabilities as well. I mean, it's a big deal, and I really want to kind of give back, because I have some people in my family with disabilities as well, and that's where pretty much a lot of it came from.
Bill Carroll is here. Kevin Handy here. The Institute for Performing Arts. Again, Saturday night, June 6th. Go to contributetothearts.org. This big gala at the Stafford Airport. I think a lot of people are going to walk into that and think, we'll find out more about what they're doing. I'm going to be blown away.
They are. I mean, it's a fundraiser. It's our first one. We're going to have 2 a year. Next one's going to be either end of September, early October. That one is going to be more of the performing arts and some pretty amazing child performers we're going to have there, from piano to singing and that sort of thing, or acting. This one coming up on the 6th is a lot to do with our stage show and the 4D technology and what the educational part of that immense, intense show is going to be all about. And that's where Kevin comes in and does his thing with the video, a little video presentation. That's about all we'll say. And I'll be explaining a lot of cool things and showing a lot of things. So, oh, yeah. I can't wait. It's very exciting. Got to get your tickets. Got to get your tickets.
And don't wait. It's only a week away, and there's the Stafford Regional Airport's a great place, but you're limited with size at some point.
Yeah, about 150 to 175 people is about what we're limited to, and I picked that place specifically for that because I want to keep it very intimate. Mm-hmm. You know, again, contributothearts.org. Find out information about that, and you can get your tickets there. And so all proceeds go right to the Institute for the Arts of Fredericksburg. Absolutely.
Well, you've been working on this, Bill, for a number of years.
About 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, and it's really starting to now, you've got legs to it. And
yeah, it's been a dream of mine, actually, since I was a kid. And I've always, I come from a family of teachers, believe it or not. My mom and my sister is a sign language interpreter, and my mother's been an administrator for many, many years, 50-plus years as a teacher herself now. And, just being in the entertainment industry, working for United Nations, in the theater industry up in New York, I always want to kind of give back to that, you know, and teach myself. And this is a great way to do that. You know, it really is. And it's going to be actually bigger than I thought it would be. Keeps growing. Every time I add another program to it or do this, do that, and I meet someone like Kevin, you know, who blows me away with their talents. Yeah. You know, now I've handpicked about 18 people. Now that's their talents are incredible, and we're all stepping up and just doing what we love to do, and kind of give back to this area.
Well, I'm not saying you're Walt Disney, but in reading the Walt Disney story and how he got started and how he went down to Orlando and quietly picked out this land in Orlando, and no one had any idea what was going to happen. And that stuff's happening here, and I don't understand why area localities, instead of fighting with each other and doing just I don't understand.
I don't either. I've run into some unnecessary roadblocks, and I don't get that either. Politics stink. I don't like politics. Never been a political person. I just want to do the right thing for the people of the community, period.
Well, I can say it. You can't. But I look at some politicians and
Ted's upset this morning.
Spotsylvania, especially, they should be doing more right now than they should.
Oh, they will be. That's one of my favorite areas too.
So yeah, we'll see. Well, hopefully it will work out. The Institute for Performing Arts is what we're talking about. Bill Carroll here, Kevin Handy here. ContributeToTheArts.org. We'll talk again about the what's going to be happening on the 6th, and get you all the information you need to get tickets lined up and do that. When we come back in Town Talk this morning on News Talk 1230 WFVA.
Welcome back to Town Talk with Ted on News Talk 1230 WFVA. You can weigh in on today's Town Talk topic on Facebook. Just search News Talk 1230 WFVA. Now, your host, Ted Schubel.
Good stuff this morning. The Institute for the Performing Arts is our focus. Bill Carroll here, Kevin Handy here. The gala, June 6th, 7 p.m. at Stafford Airport. Travel Through Time. It's the stage production, and this is going to be a can't miss or a don't miss kind of thing.
Yeah, this is pretty much the gala is called Travel Through Time. It's a jungle out there. It's a play on words. Hint, hint, hint. We're actually going to probably make the inside of the terminal look like a jungle. It's going to be pretty neat, and that's all with special effects projection as well, not video, but projection, and it's actually to make it look like there's branches and trees and leaves and pretty much all over the inside of the terminal. Yeah, and some neat lighting. Got, like I said, great music, great food, beverages, people. It's going to be a very easy atmosphere to mingle with everybody. I'll be walking around, obviously talking, but the presentation is what's going to be pretty cool, and that's where we're going to be opening up everybody's ears and eyes to a lot of what's going to be happening and coming to this area. Again, this is the first gala of twice a year we want to put on of the larger fundraisers. And again, all proceeds go right to the Institute and the building of the show itself, so which is cool.
The Institute is nonprofit. It's important to bring that out.
Yep.
Really, it's all education.
Yeah, it's all based on education and teaching. Pretty much everything with not only theatrical arts, but visual arts as well. We've been adding a lot of things to do with painters and people who can draw and illustrators, and that's actually very important because we're going to be teaching that and adding all their talents to the things to create our products with. So that's what's kind of neat. So we're going to have some workbooks for all the kids at each show they can take with them. But the workbook is actually the show. So they'll be able to have a coloring book and workbook of the historical area that they're going, so they can actually take that with them as a workbook. And we actually pulled that off of a lot of the similar curriculum of the elementary schools on a national basis. So we actually took the elementary curriculum, created the stories, wrote it for people with disabilities and people like us, and it's put it all together, and that's what we're going to create. So it's pretty cool. It is.
I'd love to be a younger kid in this area right now.
But it's not just for kids, though. It's for everybody.
Oh, no, it is.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking myself, I'd love to be a kid and be
Mm-hmm.
able to go through this kind of thing.
You know, and after each show, it's not like you're leaving the show like you do on a normal concert or show. They'll be able to go up and see how we do everything. We're actually show them how we do the special effects. They can touch some of the characters, and that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say what kind of characters yet. But they're able to meet them up close and personal, and they can ask questions. We're actually going to have where they can fill out before the show and in a ballot box in the beginning, and they can ask a question, put their name down, and at the end of the actual shows, we're going to be pulling out different ones, different kids, and putting them on the spotlight and answering their questions for them. So that's another thing that we're going to be doing after each show. It's very interactive, but then again, they'll be able to really, up close and personal, see how everything is done, which is very, very cool. Well, behind-the-scenes things with Kevin and the cinematography crew, and yeah.
And we're basically creating, between the Institute itself and the show and everything we're doing with Dino Time, we're creating the product that we've always wanted to see.
Yeah.
Big kids, I guess we are.
Oh, that's so true.
No, you definitely are. You definitely are.
And we get to play with lights now. I mean, you know, it's cool.
We were just dancing to the theme for Town Talks. I mean, yeah, we're giant
It
kids.
was. That was a first.
Yeah,
that was a first. When you guys did a fist bump beforehand, we've had many people do that, but you've been the first that have really kind of grooved to the theme music.
It's just what we bring to the table.
Right. The Institute for the Performing Arts, that's a website that you're going to want to bookmark and make a favorite and contribute to thearts.org to get all the information on June 6th.
Yes, and everything else, too, as well.
Yeah.
And you need a box truck.
I need a box truck and a cargo trailer. Bad. We need one to bring a very large educational item down to the gala. We had something set up that we just fell through, and we're just really in need right now of at least a 16-foot box truck.
If someone can do that, how can they get real quick? How can they get a hold of you today?
Just right here at the station, 373. Come on, give it out. You've never called the station before.
I know I have, but I've drawn a blank.
I know.
Well, it's got to
Yeah.
be like 101.5.
Bill,
Yeah, basically call the station here at WFVA or WBQB 101.5.
Bill Carroll, Kevin Handy, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA.
Is it 7200?
No, it's 373. I used to have it memorized. 7731? No,
7731.
7721.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Oh my God. We never call this place. I have my own direct line, so I don't even.
Garbage.
Oh, it's right there. 373-7721. Right on our. Look. Pad. Look. On the pad. The pad. Right there.